Anxiety. It's a word that evokes a range of feelings, from mild unease to crippling fear. For many, it's the physical symptoms that cause the most distress: the racing heart, the shortness of breath, the dizziness, the trembling. These sensations, while uncomfortable, are not dangerous. They are the body's natural alarm system, designed to protect us from perceived threats. Understanding these symptoms and learning how to manage them is the first step towards regaining control and finding peace of mind. By understanding how this alarm system works, we can begin to reframe our relationship with anxiety and develop strategies to manage its impact on our lives. At the heart of the body's alarm system lie two key hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. These powerful chemicals play a crucial role in how our body responds to stress and perceived threats. These chemical messengers are released into the bloodstream when the brain perceives a threat, triggering a series of physiological changes designed to prepare us to either fight the danger or flee to safety. This response is often referred to as the fight or flight response. Adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, is responsible for the immediate surge-like symptoms of anxiety. It acts quickly, causing a rapid increase in heart rate and energy levels. It causes the heart to beat faster, pushing blood to the muscles to prepare for action. This is why you might feel your heart pounding in your chest when you're anxious. Cortisol, on the other hand, acts more slowly, creating a sustained state of alertness. It helps the body stay on high alert for a longer period. This hormone increases blood sugar levels, providing the body with a readily available source of energy. This ensures that you have the fuel needed to respond to the threat. While these hormonal changes are essential for survival in dangerous situations, they can be incredibly uncomfortable when they are triggered in response to everyday stressors. Everyday stressors like work deadlines, traffic jams, or juggling multiple tasks can activate this response unnecessarily. The key to managing anxiety, therefore, lies in understanding how these hormones work and learning how to regulate our body's response. Techniques such as yoga, meditation, journaling, and controlled breathing can help in calming the mind and reducing the impact of these stress hormones. In our quest to manage anxiety, it's tempting to seek quick fixes, especially when it comes to cortisol. We might be drawn to supplements or restrictive diets claiming to lower cortisol levels. However, it's crucial to understand that cortisol is not inherently bad. It's a vital hormone with a natural ebb and flow throughout the day. Cortisol levels are typically highest in the morning, gradually declining throughout the day, reaching their lowest point at night. This natural rhythm is essential for regulating energy, sleep-wake cycles, and various bodily functions. Instead of trying to control cortisol through external means, focus on supporting your body's natural rhythm. Engage in regular exercise, prioritize sleep cycles, and manage stress through relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation. To truly understand anxiety, we must look beyond the physical symptoms and delve into the intricate workings of the brain. Our experiences, particularly those involving fear or trauma, can leave lasting imprints on our brains, creating neural pathways that heighten our sensitivity to perceived threats. These pathways, once formed, can become deeply ingrained, making us more likely to interpret ambiguous situations as dangerous, even when they pose no real threat. Imagine, for instance, someone who experienced a traumatic car accident. Even years later, the mere sight of a car or the sound of screeching tires can trigger a surge of anxiety. Understanding the role of past experiences in shaping our anxiety is crucial for developing effective coping mechanisms. The relationship between the brain and anxiety is not a one-way street. It is a complex, dynamic interaction where both elements influence each other continuously. While our brains influence our anxiety levels, our behavior also plays a significant role in shaping our brain's perception of threats and its subsequent release of stress hormones. This means that our actions and reactions can either amplify or diminish our anxiety. When we engage behaviors that reinforce our fears, such as when we experience excessive stress on the job, we inadvertently strengthen the neural pathways associated with anxiety. This makes it easier for our brain to trigger an anxious response to similar situations in the future. Conversely, when we challenge our fears and engage in behaviors that contradict our anxious thoughts, we can gradually rewire our brains to perceive these situations as less threatening. The process requires consistent effort and practice. This process, known as cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, forms the foundation of many effective anxiety management techniques. CBT helps individuals identify and change negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to their anxiety. By understanding how our behavior influences our brain's response to anxiety, we can make conscious choices to break free from this cycle. Learning to breathe from the diaphragm, known as diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing, is also a good way to relieve stress. In fact, it has been proven to be much more effective in relieving stress than deep chest breathing, which can actually increase stress levels. This knowledge empowers us to take control of our mental health and improve our overall well-being. In our quest to manage anxiety, we often develop subtle, often unconscious behaviors that provide temporary relief from discomfort. These behaviors, known as safety behaviors, are intended to prevent or minimize the feared outcome, but in reality, they only serve to perpetuate the cycle of anxiety. Safety behaviors can take many forms. For someone with social anxiety, it might involve avoiding eye contact, speaking softly, or constantly checking their phone to appear busy. The key to breaking free from this trap is to identify and gradually challenge our safety behaviors. Identifying your personal safety behaviors is the first step toward reducing their impact on your life. Start by paying close attention to your actions and thoughts when you feel anxious. Ask yourself, what am I doing to feel safer? What am I afraid will happen if I don't do these things? Once you've identified your safety behaviors, it's important to challenge them gradually. Trying to eliminate all safety behaviors at once can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Instead, choose one or two behaviors to focus on at a time. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate anxiety entirely, but to learn to manage it effectively. Breaking free from safety behaviors takes time and effort, but the rewards are well worth it. While challenging safety behaviors and addressing the root causes of anxiety is crucial, sometimes we need practical tools to manage those overwhelming moments when anxiety strikes. These moments can feel all-consuming, making it hard to think clearly or act rationally. Here are some techniques to help you ride the wave of anxiety and regain a sense of calm. Again, deep breathing from the diaphragm rather than from the chest. This simple yet effective method can significantly reduce anxiety levels. When anxiety takes hold, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid, perpetuating the cycle of fear. This can make the feeling of panic even worse. This doesn't mean that you have to stop everything you're doing, get on the floor, and assume the lotus position like an expert yogi. Simply focus on taking slow, deep, belly breaths from the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscular partition that separates the upper chest wall from the abdomen. It plays a major role in breathing, and when it contracts, it increases the volume of air being directed into the lungs, thereby inflating the lungs. Inhaling deeply into your belly and exhaling slowly helps to calm your nervous system. Next, grounding techniques. When anxiety threatens to overwhelm you, grounding techniques can help bring you back to the present moment. These techniques are designed to anchor you in the here and now. Focus on your senses. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This sensory exercise can help divert your mind from anxious thoughts. Physical activity is also a powerful antidote to anxiety. Exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters. Remember, managing anxiety is an ongoing process, not a destination. It requires consistent effort and practice, but with time, these techniques can become second nature. Managing anxiety is not a quick fix. It's a journey that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. There will be good days and bad days, moments of progress and setbacks along the way. It's essential to approach this journey with realistic expectations and a willingness to embrace the process. Be patient with yourself as you learn to implement these techniques. It takes time for new habits to form and for your brain to rewire itself. Every step you take towards managing your anxiety is a step in the right direction. One of the most empowering aspects of managing anxiety is gaining a deeper understanding of what it is, how it manifests in our bodies and minds, and what we can do to regain control. By understanding the physiological basis of anxiety, the role of adrenaline and cortisol, the fight or flight response, and the impact of past experiences on our brains, we can begin to view our symptoms with less fear and more compassion. We can recognize that these sensations, while uncomfortable, are not dangerous. They are simply our body's way of trying to protect us. Remember, knowledge is power. The journey to managing anxiety can be challenging, but it is a journey worth taking. By understanding the nature of anxiety, implementing the strategies outlined in this video, and embracing the principles of patience and persistence, you can regain control over your life and experience the freedom that comes with a calmer mind. Remember, you are not alone. Anxiety is an incredibly common emotion that affects millions of people all around the world. Most importantly, never lose sight of hope. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might be struggling with anxiety and looking for ways to manage it, and to understand that it doesn't need to control their life. And remember to hit the notification bell so you won't miss upcoming videos on topics like these.